Okay, this is my technique for turning the version page into the final page. So what do I mean by version? Version is any file that has a V in it. V for version. Version 1, version 2, version 3B, version 3B, C, D, etc., etc. So this page is a version page. Two things. The client hasn't okayed the page yet, and you'll notice that these hyperlinks don't go to actual pages in the property palette. They go to pound symbols. Until the client has okayed the page, it shouldn't be going anyplace yet. You want the hyperlinks to behave like a hyperlink, but you don't want them to go to the pages yet until you okay the page from the client. That's what we're going to do in today's class. We're going to turn this version page that the client has approved into the final page. Okay, so let's begin. Turning the version page into the final page is a three-step process. Step 1, this page needs to be turned to an index page. Index page is the final page. So step 1 is we're going to save this as the index page. Three-step process. Step 2, we're going to make the hyperlinks pound symbol go to real-life pages. In step 3, we're going to move the internal style sheets to an external style sheet. Therefore, I can basically build my 5 pages using the same external style sheets. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do here is go to File, Save As. Save As, this will now become the index page. So I just type in index page into the return key. So it's step 1, very simple, straightforward. Step 2 is to make these hyperlinks. These hyperlinks are going to pound symbols. So they behave like a hyperlink. This is just for proving purposes until the client has okayed the page. So now we're going to have this go to the live page. So I'm going to double click, copy, and paste the name of the page it's going to. Now these pages have not been created yet. We're going to create those in just a second. Notice that protocol dictates the secondary and tertiary pages should be HTML. That's just my own personal preference. It's used a lot on the web. The index page is reserved for HTML pages. The secondary and tertiary pages are HTML pages. So I'm going to do the same thing for products. I'm going to double click copy and come down here to the products pound symbol, replace that with paste.html. Okay, make sure it's .html because sometimes you make a typo and it comes out comma and that's not going to work for you. So price.html, and if I learn how to type, that'd be a good thing. And contact, copy, paste.html. Great, so that's step 2. Now, you want to go ahead and link these to real-life pages too, where there's a hyperlink, then you might guess, but I just want to get the foundation, the understanding of the objective here. So this final page, the first thing we did was save it as the index page. Then we basically have these go to real-life pages. That's step 2. Step 3, if we go to the window and bring up our CSS styles, notice that these styles are part of this page. Well, I don't want to have 5 pages. Where am I getting the 5 pages from? The About page, the Products page, the Price page, the Contact page, plus the Home page. That's 5. I don't want to have 5 separate rules for 5 different pages. I'm going to select the rules that I'm going to affect. Rule number 1, any software program, in order to affect something, I have to select something. So I'm going to select the asterisk tag, hold down the Shift key, select the footer tag, and on Macintosh, I can control-click, Windows right-click, control-click pop-up menu, and move CSS rules. Based on these choices, once again, if you're inside of a dialog box, don't panic, it's not in Portuguese. No offense if you speak Portuguese, I don't speak Portuguese. This is in English. So based on these choices, what do you do? I want to create a new style sheet. So I click a new style sheet. I hit OK. Then it's going to say, where do you want to put it? What do you want to call it? Now, you would typically put this inside the root directory for class purposes. We're putting inside this folder. So we're simply going to create a new folder and call the folder CSS. Images go inside the Images folder. CSS goes inside the CSS folder. Perhaps Flash Swift files go inside the Swift folder. It just makes sense to organize what you're doing. So that's the name of the folder. Name of the file is main.css. So it's not a HTML file, it's not an HTML file, it's not a PHP file, it's not an XML file, it's a CSS file. This is the main CSS file for the entire site. If you have a very complicated, complex site like, say, the IBM.com site, they have many external style sheets. You can have style sheets for just navigation and style sheets for printing and style sheets for PDA devices. We're just going to keep this simple. This file is simply called main.css, saved inside the CSS folder. So if I save, notice over here that these rules have been moved to an external style sheet. If I go to my code, I will see the code for the style sheet is no longer inside of here. It's inside a document called CSS, which is inside the CSS folder. Document's called main CSS, and it's been linked to this file. It's been linked to this file. Go to your design mode, make a change, save a change. Now we're prepared to create other pages. So once you follow these 3 steps, you can now create other pages. We'll do that next. Okay, so our objective now is to publish this page to the web, including the dependent files, which means the picture files, which also, very important step here, guys, means the external style sheet. The external style sheet, main.css, is considered a dependent file. It's the file that this file depends on, hence the word dependent file. Photos are dependent files. Graphics are dependent files. Swift Flash files are dependent files. QuickTime movies are dependent files. Any file that this file depends on needs to be part of the server. Now, if you make subsequent changes to your main CSS file, they have to be uploaded again. The new changes go to the server. So let's get started here. File, Preview in Browser. I'm going to go to Firefox. Firefox dependent files. Yes, so it's going to put the dependent file plus the CSS file on the server, and it's going to publish this inside of a browser window. So here's my browser window. Now here's a simplest way to create the other pages. If you follow this exact step, it will work perfectly for you. So what do I want? What page do I want to go to? I want to go to the About page. If I select the About page, well, the About page doesn't exist because I haven't created it yet. But what's the name of the About? What's the name of the file? The name of the file is right here. Double click. I'm just double clicking the name of the page, not the extension of the page, name of the page. Copy that. Control C on Windows, Command C on Mac. Navigate your way back to Dreamweaver, and under the File menu, File, Save As, and I'm going to paste. Simple as pie. Copy, paste, except this is an HTML file, not an HTML file, HTML file, and save. Then I'm going to do the correct thing by titling the page correctly. So I'm going to come up here to my title page, put it in the pipe symbol. That's just an optional thing. It's totally up to you. I put the pipe symbol, and that's the About page. Then I'm going to identify this as the About page by selecting the text and selecting About and saving the file. Make a change, save a change. Make a change, save a change. Now, I don't have to keep publishing browser windows. I simply want to upload the file. Upload the file. The file has been saved. The file has been saved as about.html. So I simply go to upload the file. So I can put it on the internet. Command-Shift-U, Control-Shift-U for Windows, uploads the file. Dependent files, no, because I haven't made any changes to my dependent file. So I can actually say no. Then, if I go back to my browser, this browser doesn't have this page. So I just hit the return key or reload the page, and there's my About page. Simple, 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 simple. It's titled correctly up here, About. It has About information, so I know it's the About page. You know, yes, eventually you're going to move in the correct content for this page, but my objective right here is just to create the 3 pages or 4 pages. So products doesn't exist. Same thing. Double click name of the products, copy name of products. Therefore, when I go back to Dreamweaver, I say File, Save As, shortcut Command-Shift-S, Windows, Control-Shift-S. This is just an operating system. At this point, it has nothing to do with Dreamweaver. You just File, Save As, and paste, copy, paste. Hit the return key. I double-click up here, and I say Paste. I double-click here, and I say Paste. I save the changes, Command-S or Control-S on Windows. I upload the page, Command-Shift-U, or put on the internet, get off the internet. Put on, get off. Put on, get off. We're going to put this to the internet, Command-Shift-U. Dependent files, no. Okay, so if I Command-Tab, that goes right to Firefox. Basically, you're just going to your browser again. I hit the return key, and that pops up the new products page because the products page has to be loaded into the browser window. Simple, simple, simple. You can do this with 50 pages, 100 pages, 1,000,000 pages. It doesn't matter. This is the correct way to create other pages without having typos. I select the price. Price doesn't exist. What's the name of the page? It's right here. It doesn't matter what I call the page. If you call it price underscore today or price is, rather than make a typo, that's the name of the page it's looking for. So that's the name of the page we're going to give the file inside of Dreamweaver. So I copy that, go back to Dreamweaver, and save as. File, save as. Paste, return. I come up here, double click, paste. Come here, double click, paste. Save the file. File, save, upload the page. Command, Shift, U. Dependent files, no, because I still haven't made any changes to the dependent files. I'm simply putting the same content with different changes, like the price up on top here and the price here, to identify it as the price page. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my browser window again, hit the return key, and create the contact page. I put my cursor here, I'm inside the browser again, I click contact page doesn't exist. What's the name of the page it's looking for? It's looking for a page called contact, not contact us, not contact -us, not contact underscore us. That's the name of the page. So it doesn't matter what the name of the page that you linked inside of Dreamweaver is. Whatever the name of the page is, you just double click from right here. I copy, I go back to Dreamweaver, and file, save as, paste. So therefore I have my pages created. I double click up here because I want to title the page correctly. And double click here, and now it's tagged correctly. So I save the page and go back to put this on the internet. Command Shift U, Windows Control Shift U. Again, dependent files, no. So now when I go back to my browser window and I hit the return key, there's my pages. Here's the About page, properly titled. Here's the Products page, properly titled. Here's the Price page, properly titled. Here's the Contact page. Simple as pie. If you follow these exact directions, you can create 5 pages, you can create 50 pages.